All right, we're going to get into some of our basic movements that we can perform here on this ball bike. Everything from the way in which we pedal, from our front bands to our back bands, as well as our medicine ball. Once you're settled onto that ball bike, just pedal those feet forward like you naturally would. This is going to be your most natural, most common way to pedal. Driving through your heels, pressing forward, you're going to feel a lot more emphasis in your glutes and in your hamstrings. If we completely stop those feet, we do have the option to pedal in reverse, driving our toes forward. When pedaling in reverse, you're going to feel a lot more emphasis on the front side of your legs, on those quads, especially with a higher resistance. You will feel much more emphasis up front on the quads. Once you're back pedaling in the most common way, you will have two different options of basic cardio movements. Your sprints, grab those handlebars, lean forward, engage forward, get that speed up as high as you can, and lean back into a rest, alternating that over time. Your second option is going to be hill climbs with that bike resistance. Over time, you will slowly increase that resistance until you get to a peak on that hill. With that resistance being higher, pedaling will slow down. Slowly decrease that resistance until you are back at your base of the hill. A few quick warm-ups to get you settled on this bike and to utilize this exercise ball is simple bounces. You're going to feel that core get engaged. You're going to feel some decompression on the spine. You can grab those handlebars or you can grab those side rails to get that bouncing. Along with those bouncing, if you want to slow that pedaling down, find your rhythm, you can even jump into nice, slow, casual jumping jacks. Holding on to those side rails. We can also get that core engaged a little bit more, in which we will take this exercise ball and roll it forward, roll it backward, roll it side to side. That is going to allow us to loosen up those hips, start to get that core engaged before we head into our workout on the bike. Jumping into those front bands. A reminder, all these movements can be formed as isolation movements with a single arm. They can be performed with both arms working together. They can be worked as alternate movements, sprints, slow controlled, your pace and your resistance is your choice. We're gonna go over some of those basic movements. Starting down underneath those handlebars will be simple bicep curls. Turn those palms up, drop those elbows, squeeze those pinkies back to your shoulders. You can also hold a neutral grip and go into hammer curls, squeezing those handlebars back towards your shoulders. Turn those hands upright, knuckles face up. You can perform reverse curls here, squeezing those knuckles back towards your shoulders to keep those arms engaged. Let those elbows flare out. You can jump into tricep kickbacks, pushing those palms down to the ground and kicking those hands back. It's a simple bend at the elbows, pushing the hands, letting the hands lead the bands. Staying below, we will engage that back, reach forward, lean against the backrest, and we go with your standard low row, pulling those handlebars towards your hips. Another movement below those handlebars is going to be reverse fly. Palms face each other. Push those knuckles out and away from you. Slightly bent arms. Engaging those rear delts. We will then bring those handlebars up on top, in which we will go into high rows. Imagine you're pulling the center of these bands towards your chest. Elbows and hands drift high and wide. Let those elbows flare out, engaging your back and those rear delts. To engage those front delts, hands can stay on top of the handlebars, and you go into front raises. Pushing those knuckles up to the ceiling. Last one, to keep those front delts engaged. This is going to be a very controlled movement. Hold forward, up above, and go down and around. Best with a slow, controlled movement here, legs moving throughout the movement. For our back bands, same thing. All these movements can be performed as isolation movements, doing a single arm. All these movements can be performed moving together, in pulses, in sprints, in slow controlled movements, or increase the band for a full strength resistance. A few movements that you can perform on our back bands is going to be a chest press. Hand position can be a neutral grip, it can be overhand, it can be even be underhand, in which use that back rest to keep a big chest, pressing those hands forward in whichever grip position you would like. An easy transition from here is to do a chest fly. Hands come out wide, slight bend in your elbows, squeeze those palms together in front, still using that back rest to push your chest forward and keep that balance. Bring those hands back. Next basic movement is going to be a shoulder press. We'll bring those bands shoulder height, press those knuckles to the ceiling, elbows shoot down to the ground. Staying in this position, we'll come to that peak position, elbows stay high, hands and bands get low. We can engage our triceps from here. Elbows stay high, hands push to the ceiling. If we want to stay in this position and engage our core, elbows stay high, hands and bands get low. Slow your pedaling down, open up your core, perform crunches. Bring those hands down. A few shoulder movements we can do with our back bands. Change your grip. Thumbs hook just right through. You will go lateral raises, pushing those elbows and hands out off to the side, engaging those side delts. And you can go front raises from here as well. Hands stay down on the side, pushing out to the front. To get those full shoulders engaged, roll back around, palms face forward, around the worlds all the way up, all the way down. Best is a controlled movement. And you can bring those bands down, rack those bands. Throughout your workout, you can even perform combination movements, such as left front band, right back band. We can row and press. Any combination of movement that we walk through with front and back can be combined into a controlled movement here. I'm going to switch over to our last piece of equipment, which is our medicine ball, in which we can perform many different movements with this. We can perform overhead presses with both arms, single arm, focusing on that body control as the weight won't be overwhelming. Holding at the top, you can go into lighter weight tricep extensions. For core engagement, we can go with variations of hollow holds. A hollow hold is holding that ball away from you. Upright posture, engaging the core. First position, out front. Second position, above, upright posture, centered hips, core engaged. From here, we can perform movements to focus on body control. It can be from up to down, out to in, or it can be out and up. Bring into your chest. Upright chest, elbows out wide. You can perform core rotations, focusing on that body control, centered hips, center of your chest follows the center of the ball. If you want a more challenging core rotation, Hold low right, rainbow it around, back around. Focusing on core engagement and body control. Those are going to be your basic medicine ball movements to keep core engaged. Bring those feet out of the pedals, move your ball back, and from a seated position with feet on the ground, we can go with various movements. We can go simple crunches. We can go bicycle crunches. We can grab that ball and go core rotations from here. Side crunches. Move our feet to one side and dip down to that side and switch back to the other side. Come centered. Center those hips on the ball, and those are your basic movements